What is going on, guys? John here with the thepbfit, and today we're talking about the Field 1 Force. I'm really stoked to be doing a review on the Field 1 Force because, in my opinion, it is one of the most unique paintball markers on the market. And it is currently the only marker that Field 1 is actively producing right now. So first things first, let's go ahead and look at the packaging. It is a nice, soft case. Honestly, the soft case is nothing to write home about, but it's gonna protect your marker. So go ahead and opening up the soft case. You're gonna flip to the first page, essentially. Then the first part of the case, you're gonna have your barrel back, your barrel front, as well as your inserts. Now, one thing I like about this marker is it essentially comes with 3 inserts. A 691, a 683, and a 679. Now, those are huge gaps in my opinion as far as like barrel backs. Now, I don't know why they included a 691. In my opinion, that's kind of a useless barrel back. I haven't shot 691 paint in forever. Now, I know paint swells and everything like that. I just think they could have gone with a more versatile back like a 688. I think a 688 is on point, and then go to the 683 and then go to the 679. Now, it comes with some lube as well, so you probably won't have to buy lube for a long time for your Force. And it also comes with a spares kit that includes your Allen keys. Now, this spares kit, while it looks cool because it's in like a little fishing tackle box, it leaves a lot to be desired. It has 3 Allen keys, and really that's the only 3 you need. However, it would have been nice to come with an actual Allen key set, or at least include high quality ball end Allen keys with the marker. The thing about it is this is a cool size, it's nice and compact, but it's a little too small because actually the large Allen key doesn't fit very well in here. Another thing that kind of bummed me out was the little piece of paper that they include with your spares kit. This seems like an afterthought. It's literally a piece of paper that someone cut out and placed in there. Does it do the job? Absolutely. But one rainy day, some paint on your hands is going to ruin this for you. I think they should include a booklet, right? A booklet like Planet Eclipse, something that you can reference, something that you can access that's readily available. Now, they do have some nice cards that the Force comes with. It shows who chronoed it, who made sure that it was good to go, what it was chronoing at, 270, 280. That's pretty good. And it has Yosh Rao, Alex Frazier, and Ryan Greenspan on the back. It also has a quick start guide, but the quick start guide, as well as some maintenance information, is in multiple cards. I don't know why they separated it. Like, if they could include this and this into one book, it would have been great. At least make the O-ring cheat sheet like these cards. I think that would have been better. I just think that, like I said, the O-ring cheat sheet was like, shoot, we forgot to make an O-ring cheat sheet. Let's go ahead and print one out real quick and stick it in there. That's just my opinion. I think it would have been a lot better if they would have made an actual kind of like a manual for this marker. Oh, and it comes with a Blake Yarber player card that is damaged, unfortunately, so I will not get a return on investment, unfortunately, for this card. That's okay. Everything does fit in the pouch pretty nice. However, once again, it is a little small for everything that you'd expect to shove in there, but it works. It closes nicely, the Velcro works. Now, in here, there's a lot of other space for more barrel backs. You could have a full Field 1 Acculock barrel kit in here, different color barrel backs, different color barrel tips, whatever you want in here, other barrels, it doesn't matter. It could fit a whole bunch. There's actually space for 10 different barrel backs or inserts in this soft case, so it's pretty awesome. Literally everything you're gonna need for your marker can be held in this soft case. Flipping to the last page, you're gonna find your marker, a barrel sock, and a little Field 1 Force patch. Now, what you're gonna find when you buy a Field 1 Force is little trinkets and stuff like the Blake Yarber card and the patch and stuff like that, which I think is really cool. It really makes purchasing this marker unique. In this side of the marker case, you can then hold down your Force with these little Velcro straps, which is cool because it's modular, and if you wanted to put a different marker in it, you could, so that's kind of nice. All right, let's take a deeper look at this Field 1 Force, get in the nitty gritty, and really find out why everyone's so hyped on this marker. Starting with the ASA. Is this an ASA or is it a regulator? I don't know. Just kidding, I do. It's both, okay? It's both. Really cool system here. I really, really like this regulator ASA combo. It is so easy to work on. I will show you the basic maintenance on this regulator. You're gonna be stoked about it. It's easy to turn on and off. Classic Bob Long ASA, all right? And they call the regulator a Rhino regulator. Super cool. It's a great reg. You're not gonna have to worry about consistency issues. It's fantastic. Moving up the marker, it has really nice grips and it's a thin grip frame. Really similar to all the Bob long guns if you've ever shot one, basically the same. I love the feel of this marker. It brings back memories. I think this is a fantastic thing to do. Keep the grip frame familiar so that people that have shot Bob long can jump right in this and feel at home. Now the OLED screen is nothing fancy. It does the job, which I like basic OLED screens. There's no need to have craziness on there. I just want to shoot 10 balls per second. I want it to just be easy to program, and that's it. So that's exactly what this does. If you've programmed a Bob long marker before, it's exact same thing, basically exact same board, nothing fancy there either. This Field 1 Force has one of the best triggers in the game. I absolutely love the Field 1 trigger. Easy to adjust, multiple points of adjustment, easy to remove and replace with a different trigger like a douche trigger, and I just think it's great. If you ever play semi-uncapped, you're gonna want a marker like this. It is absolutely gonna shoot ropes. Easy to walk, it's absolutely fantastic. Taking out the nucleus core is super easy. It's the same system that a lot of markers have. You just pull up on the back cap, pull it out, and the entire core comes out, ready for you to maintain or change O-rings, whatever you need to do in an instant. Really nice. Unfortunately, that is literally the only toolless part of this marker is taking out the core. Everything else requires tools. If you want to service a regulator, requires a tool. If you want to take off the grips, requires a tool. Moving on to the eyes. If you want to take off the eye cover, you need a tool. You need an Allen key. So you're going to have to go ahead and take off the eye covers. Now the type of eyes that this thing has is 4C eyes. They're great. They're one of the best eye systems out there. Super reactive to when a ball drops in there. The chance of you chopping a ball with 4C eyes is slim to none. Not going to happen. The foregrip of this marker is interesting. Now, when you're holding it, it actually doesn't feel that bad. It doesn't feel that bad at all. At first I was like, man, it's like an Axe 2.0. But honestly, I didn't mind the Axe either. But one thing that's nice is instead of rounded in the front, it kind of curves in a little bit. So it's actually nicer to hold. Especially with me, I like to put my thumb on the outside here, and a little groove there fits really, really nice. And to access the batteries is super easy, except you still need an Allen key. So you put the Allen key in, you twist it, pops right out, replace your AA batteries. Or you can use a LiPo battery. That battery is rechargeable. It goes in the grip frame. So you could switch between LiPo and AA, which is pretty cool. Do you want to know why? Here's a perfect example. We were practicing the other day. One of my teammates shoots a Lux. Guess what? Forgot to charge his Lux. Guess what? Battery died. Can't use his Lux anymore. Let me think. No! Guess what would happen if I used my LiPo battery and my AA? Forgot to charge my LiPo battery. Oops. Oh, good thing I could switch to AA, and guess what? I'm back in the game. And guess what marker he used when his battery died? A Force. So the Field 1 Force is cool because it gives you options. You want to use the LiPo battery? Sure. You want to use a AA? Fine. Whatever you want to do, whatever works. Options are good. Paintball players like options. Now the barrelless marker, it is the AccuLock barrel system. This barrel system is awesome. It's a steeped barrel system. It looks really cool. Really awesome barrel system because the insert is robust. It is not a thin, flimsy little insert. It is thick. It's basically like a barrel back. And the cool thing about this is when you screw it together, it's all gonna fall in line. And when you look down the barrel, it is smooth as butter. So you know you're not gonna have any issues with the insert being off and then not shooting right or whatever it might be. This thing is gonna lock it into place, and it is a wonderful barrel system. I really, really like it. However, it's a heavy barrel system. This thing in general is extremely heavy. How heavy is the Force, you say? 2 pounds, 6 ounces. She thick. This girl is thick. But that's okay, because what she lacks in lightness, she makes up in performance. Now moving on to the feed neck. Not anything fancy, but definitely better than the original Bob Long feed necks that used to fall off. If you watch one of my VCOM videos where I'm playing the snake, I literally had the feed neck completely fall off because they had a tiny little screw down here. But Field 1 went ahead and fixed that. They have a new feed neck, and it is a nice thumb wheel. Really easy to get your hopper on and off and adjust and switch between hoppers, which is great. Now I know a lot of you are wondering, man, it's probably really, really hard to maintain. And honestly, it's not. Come to find out, it is actually one of the easiest markers to maintain out there. And the reason why is that there are U-cups in the engine that really increase the lifespan of this marker. The U-cups themselves last a lot longer than normal O-rings do. Now, maintaining the nucleus core is easier than you could have ever imagined. First thing you're gonna do, and I'm gonna keep this really simple. First thing you're gonna do is unscrew the back portion of the core and the front portion of the core. Super easy. And honestly, once you do that, I don't take anything else apart. That's it. And I've used this gun many times. You're just gonna separate it like this. You're gonna take lube. You're gonna put it on the static O-rings on the back of the red portion of the nucleus core. Then you're gonna go ahead and set that bad boy off to the side. You don't gotta mess with it anymore. Take a look at the rest of the nucleus core. You're gonna look at the bolt. There are multiple O-rings all over this thing, but there are only a few that you really have to deal with. On the back of the stem, you're gonna put a little bit of lube on there. Then you're gonna put lube on the end of it itself. Then you're gonna put lube on the 3 black static O-rings. You're gonna put lube on the tan static O-ring, and you're gonna put a little bit of lube because you don't wanna put too much lube on the front of the bolt. The reason why is because all that lube's gonna shoot through your marker. You're gonna shoot squirrely, you're gonna hate your life, you're gonna say, this marker sucks, but actually you who sucks at maintaining your marker. So just make sure that you lube it appropriately. Now I know what you're saying, John, how do you maintain the rest of it? How do you get to this inside stem and then that brass piece in there? How do you lube that up? Well, honestly, you put lube back here, the back of the stem, and you take your finger, and I just put lube in there, and I put it on all the edges, and I just move it like this. You just move it back and forth. Go ahead and lube everything up in there. That's all you really have to do. Now you can take this apart further, but if you want to do that, go ahead to Field One Force's YouTube channel and watch it. There are also other people who go way more in depth in taking this thing apart, but I can tell you right now, you don't need to. Unless you have a catastrophic problem with your marker, then you will have to go in there and do it. But honestly, I've never had that problem, ever, since I've owned this thing. Now once you're done lubing everything up, you're gonna put the front portion back on the back portion, screw it in all the way. Now if you don't screw it all the way, you run the risk of getting your bolt essentially stuck, and I've done that with a V-com. So don't do that. I learned my lesson. That's one thing, is you wanna make sure it's tight, but nice and hand tight is perfectly fine. Now once you're done, all you're gonna do is slide it back in your marker, push down, and you're good to go. One thing I do recommend when you're maintaining any marker is taking off the eye covers, going ahead and wiping down the eyes, wiping down the detents, and then I like to run a microfiber through the inside of my markers. That way I make sure the inside also has that glassy, smooth finish, and there's no paint or debris or anything that's just gonna blow into everything I just cleaned. So you wanna make sure that you also clean the inside of your marker, not just the engine of your marker. So we just maintain the thing that you would actually be cleaning after every day of play. Yes, I recommend cleaning after every day of play because you can have paint debris on there, dirt, water, whatever, sand. I don't know what you're playing in, but it's gonna be in there, I promise you. And the more you let it sit, the more you let it build up, the more issues you're going to have, the shorter the lifespan of the O-rings. So you wanna make sure you go ahead and maintain that every single day. And with that being said, while always wipe off old lube, don't leave old lube on there. Now maintain the regulator is simple, super simple. Only thing is to get to it, you gotta take off the grips. So on each side, there are 3 little black screws. You're gonna unscrew each. So 6 screws total so you can get to the regulator, which has 2 screws that you need to unscrew. Okay, so you're gonna unscrew those 2 large silver screws, and the ASA is going to drop out from the bottom of the marker. From there, you're gonna go ahead and pull out the piston. There is a spring on there, but honestly, you don't really need to take it out unless you really want to. So I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it in there. I'm gonna wipe everything down, and then I'm gonna go ahead and lube up that O-ring as well as the piston stem. From there, you're gonna look at the brass piece in the actual ASA itself. All you gotta do is take an Allen key and push through the velocity adjuster, and you can go ahead and that brass piece is gonna fall out. Then what you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna make sure that all the O-rings on there are clean and re-lubed, okay? You don't have to do this very often. I always say like every 25 to 50 cases, if you start seeing some weird velocity issues, go ahead and clean it off. Or if you had a really rough day of play in mud and nastiness, you probably want to go in there just to make sure everything's okay, because your regulator is critical to the performance of your marker. You're also going to clean the inside of the regulator housing. So that's really important. If there's any dirt in there, you're going to just put your clean regulator back in there and just going to make it more dirty. So don't do that. So clean that part out, then lube up the O-rings, put it back in the regulator housing. Then you're going to put the piston back up into the piston housing, and all you're going to do is put the ASA back on the marker. So easy. Incredibly easy. That is basic regulator maintenance for this marker. Really, the longest part of the regulator maintenance was taking the screws on and off. That was the biggest pain in the butt that I had to deal with while doing regulator maintenance. 2 silver screws and then 6 black screws to put the grips back on the grip frame. And from there, you've maintained your regulator. So what do I think about the Field 1 Force now that we've kind of did an overview and I've talked about a few things, and we did some maintenance on the core, the nucleus core, and the rhino regulator? What do I think about this thing? Well, like I said, it is one of the most unique markers out there right now. There's nothing like this. There are other markers out there that have the exact same core as other markers, and to me, it's just not exciting. The reason why there's a lot of hype around this marker is because it's exciting and different, and it's backed by an amazing team and amazing people, which makes it highly sellable and a desired marker. This marker is actually keeping its resale value pretty well compared to its competitors. So how much do these markers cost? If you wanted a plain black or single color Field 1 Force, it's going to cost you $1,550. That's a lot of money. That is crazy money. But are you going to get a marker that has the exact same nucleus style engine in it? No, you're not. Now the engine is very similar to an Onslaught, but they made a bunch of upgrades, because what was the problem with the Onslaught? It was kind of hard on paint, all right? It had crazy efficiency, which unfortunately this does not, but it was rough on paint. And when you're playing tournament paintball, you want to have a buttery smooth marker. And that's what this thing is. Now the Force is very soft on paint, so it allows you to shoot the brittlest paint so you can be the most effective while in a tournament. You don't want to be blowing up paint in your marker, unable to shoot straight. That is not going to happen with the Field 1 Force. It hasn't happened for me. Now this ASA has been around for a while. I like it. It's easy to turn on and off. I really don't mind it at all. There's no reason to change it. It's low profile, doesn't have anything that flings out of it. It's a really nice ASA. The grips are nice and thin. I really appreciate that. I also like the foregrip. It's nice and long. You know me, I like long markers. I like to have a lot of space. I like to feel like I'm in control of the thing. So that is a great thing about the Field 1 Force. However, if you have someone who's a little smaller, like let's say you have a kid or someone with a smaller frame, smaller hands, whatever it might be, you can go ahead and slide the foregrip of the marker back for someone that may want a shorter setup or need a shorter setup, which I think was a really cool thing that Field 1 did. Once again, unique. I don't know of any other marker where you can adjust the front grip like that currently on the high-end market. Trigger, it's a bob long trigger. I really enjoy it. I think it's a fantastic trigger. It's one of the best you can get right now. The nucleus core, very unique, easy to maintain. You don't need to go crazy on it. If you want to take apart more, sure, go for it. However, what I showed you is all I do, and that's all I need to do to maintain it, and I haven't had any issues. No leaking, not even a slight hiss with the nucleus core. The feed neck, great feed neck. I really like the feed neck. It is fantastic, easy to change hoppers and everything like that. I really like what they did with the feed neck as far as making it better than Bob Long's previous feed necks. The eyes. 4C eyes are great eyes. I really enjoy 4C eyes. They do a great job of detecting paintballs and feeding, so chopping is not really going to be an issue with the 4C eye system. Now, what are some things that I don't really like about the Field 1 Force? Well, she's heavy. Now, there's got to be a way to remove some of this weight. I think the weight helps it shoot really smooth. It makes sense, but I think it could be lighter. I prefer light setups. This is the opposite of that. I think this is the heaviest marker. I think this is the heaviest high-end you can buy right now. While everyone's going lighter, Field 1 went heavier, but probably has some of the best shot quality in the game. I also don't really like how the AA batteries are in the foregrip. I think that there's more than enough space to have AA batteries here as well as an alternate LiPo battery. But the only thing is you wouldn't be able to switch right away between both. Now even then, you would have to open up the grip frame to switch between both, so why not just have them both in here? Just say, hey, if you want to do AA, it goes in here. If you want the LiPo battery, that goes in here too, but they go in the same spot. Move the regulator over here, more traditional, but I think it'll allow you to cut some weight off this portion or something. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I don't understand how things work, but I just think that there's space in here where the electronics are that you could accommodate that and still be able to switch between both, which I like. It's a cool feature. But I just think you got to find a way to shave some of this weight off. It's just kind of heavy. And that's going to kind of be an expectation with the second iteration, the Force 2, whatever they're going to call it, that it's more of a lightweight marker. At least that's what I'm hoping to see with the next iteration of the Force. Another thing is everything needs a screw. If you want to take it apart from the body, it needs a screw. You want access to the eyes, it needs a screw. You want access to the battery, screw. Foregrip, screw. Trigger, screw. Everything, screw. Screws are something that nobody wants to deal with anymore. I was having issues with my 4C eyes. That was having eye faults because basically they were dirty. So I had to go and unscrew my eye covers. Yes, it didn't take that long, but if I had something like, I don't know, a CS2, I'd be able to pop those suckers off, wipe them off real quick, and then get back in the game. So I missed some points because I was going and cleaning my 4C eyes. So that was kind of a bummer. I think that they should have toolless grips, toolless eyes, toolless access to the battery, toolless separation from the body, because that'd be cool, but that's not necessary. But there's just too many screws on this thing. I know that screws are reliable, a reliable way to hold things together, but accessibility and ease of use is important for a marker that's almost $1,600. Now, the last thing that I'm concerned with is the amount of boards on this thing. There are so many boards on this thing that it just leaves room for error, right? I think that we went from a board and some eye wires to upper board, lower board. Now there's like another board here, and then there's the 4CI boards, and there's just so many boards on this thing that can get jacked up with water or something. I don't know, but it just kind of freaks me out. I think they need to move away from all the boards. I would suggest it and go to a system that relies less on them, just because they're expensive to replace. So when someone loses a board, so if a board shorts or something like that, the customer is going to have to pay a lot of money. So that's one thing. And it's just, like I said, it's just one thing that can go wrong. One additional thing that can go wrong. So remove some of the boards or combine them or something, and then I think it'll make things a lot easier to deal with in the future. Other than that, great marker, fantastic marker, one of my favorite high-ends on the market right now. I highly recommend you hold one, shoot one. If you see them at the field, go ahead and mess with it. See if the owner of the Force will allow you to play with it a couple times, because it's nice to actually roll with the marker to see if you like it. It's one thing standing there and shooting it, but it's another thing running around and actually playing with it. When I'm playing with it, I don't notice the weight at all. I'm just playing. I'm not any slower. I'm not anything like that, but it's just when you're standing there, you notice it. When you're playing, you really don't notice it. And it has a unique shot. It is not a clone of anything. It's its own thing. And that's what I like about it. It's not like the other stuff out there. There's so many markers that are like just vanilla at this point. This is something exciting, something different, right? So, and I know that it's similar to the Onslaught. I know it has similar bob-long things, right? But it's just different, and that's what I love about it. I love that it's backed by the guys from Dynasty. I love that it's player-owned. I love their customer service, quick to respond, great people who really care about not just making money, but they care about the sport and they care about their customers. It is pricey. There are some things that can be better about it, but it's a fantastic shooter. All right, guys, that's all I have for this video. Thank you for watching. If you guys have any other questions, go ahead, post them in the comments below. I also like to know what you guys think about each marker that I do a review on. So one thing that I really do appreciate is you guys liking, subscribing, and hitting the bell so you guys know when I post more videos, because it really, really helps out the channel. All right, you guys, as always, more videos coming soon. Peace.